Tyffanie with your host, Tyffanie Morgan.
That's right, sweet peas, it's me. Well, hello there, my little sweet peas, my little love muffins from all around the big blue world. This is your hostess, Miss Tyffanie Morgan, calling to you live from Kingston, Ontario, Canada, the home of limestone and the home to me, Miss Tyffanie Morgan. Do not move the chair into the microphone. Do not do that. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're listening to Tyffanie Morgan, and a drag queen extraordinaire. I've been doing drag for, I don't know how many, 21 years has it been? 21 years here in Kingston, Ontario. And you're listening to CFRC 101.9 FM and on CFRC.ca. Mm. Geometric polo realness. Oh, yes, yes. So some of you may be watching live right now because I filmed this live on Wednesdays on my Facebook and stuff like that. So I got a little geometric t-shirt, polo shirt on because this morning I was having very important managerial meetings on the Facebooks. Sorry, not the Facebooks. What am I talking about? On the videos, on the Microsoft Teams, on the Zooms, on the, all those sort of things there, right? So that's what I was doing this morning. So we had to wear the, the business cash, t-shirt. I do have, I don't have flannel pants on anymore. It's now the jumper pants. The flannels have been put away, although they may have been put away prematurely because as I'm saying this right now, it is you listen to this on Thursdays on the radio, but I filmed this on Wednesday, and there's snow on the ground. What is up with that? There's snow everywhere. It's just like it's causing my gardener brain to be just like frustrated. Mostly because I think my one apple tree was starting to develop buds. So if this little it's just below zero. It's just below zero from my understanding, and I just worried that could damage the buds on the apple trees if they were developing. I think they were, but if it damages them, I'm not going to get any apples. That means no apples this year for me. Let's hope not. Let's just cross our fingers and hope to goodness that we're going to get apples. We're going to get apples. Think apples. Think red, delicious, Macintoshy type, disease-resistant apples. That's hope. Okay, and just. Go away, snow. Go away, snow. We don't want to see you right now. But someone was asking me, because if you don't know, hashtag Tiff's Garden, TYFFS Garden, I post a lot of photos on the social medias and stuff like that of my garden. And I know a little bit about outdoor gardening. So some people were like, oh no, I just planted bulbs. I'm assuming these are more like late spring, maybe summer bulbs and stuff like that, because any kind of tulips and stuff, I'm not too sure how they're going to be right now being planted. They should have been planted in the fall, but if you are planting them, don't worry, sweet peas. They're okay. They're okay because the ground soil should still be above zero, and besides, you just planted them. They're not an active growth. You should be completely okay with them. They should be completely okay. Someone ordered a white Christmas with their wish order. Someone just, Al, thank you. Yes, apparently so. Their wish order just arrived 4 months too late, and it was a white Christmas. That is a good one. That is a very good one there. Oh my goodness sakes. But yeah, it's so cute seeing blooms with snow on it. It is a little bit magical though. Like I would suggest if you can get out there, and if you have your or well, we're still allowed to go out, I think, and go for the grocery store or something like that. But bring the cell phone and take some snapshots too. It's kind of cute seeing tulips with snow on them. It's kind of cute seeing like forsythia, like yellow blooms with a pile of snow on them and stuff like that. It's I don't know. There's some juxtaposition there, right? There's something inherently interesting about that. I know Francesco. I know you posted some photos of that right now earlier, and it looked really awesome. Looked really awesome. So thank you for sharing about that. So if you are planting seeds, I think I'm going to go straight into the gardening stuff. Grow with me. So I am challenging listeners out there to join me in a growing challenge. We're trying to grow some tomatoes, some cucumbers, cucamelons, pole beans. Go to Tyffanie.com, so Tyffanie.com. You can find information and you can find our group because we have a Facebook group and we're sharing those sort of things, sharing that growing challenge. So I just published some photos, and I should have them in here as well. So let's take a look. See here. Um, okay, so I'm also so here's my cucumbers and my tomatoes. They're doing pretty good. They're doing pretty good. Some of them, the germination rates were a little bit odd. It was like some were like about a couple of days later popping out of the ground than the others. And here's some snow with the ditch lilies, as they call them. Here's the cucamelons are finally popping up, and they were planted April 12th, and they're doing pretty good for that, I think. And actually, now that I'm saying this out loud, uh, we should be talking about radio here. So I planted the cucamelons April 12th. They're now popping out of the ground with their baby leaves, no true leaves yet. And I planted them in larger pots because from experience, I know that transplanting them can be a bit precarious because they are such a thin vine sort of thing. They're not robust kind of plant. So if you are if you are starting them in smaller pots, I would say grow a few extra. Grow a few air and spare, as they call it, the air and the spare, because you could damage and kill a seedling when you're trying to transplant one of these cucamelons, because like I said, they're delicate plants. So it's a good idea to have an air and spare, or try to grow them in a larger pot and then just transplant once instead of multiple transplantations and stuff like that. They'll also get a little bit viney too, because it is a vine. So you may want to make sure you have a stick laying around that if they start twining, to get onto that stick instead of start twining around other plants. And then you're trying to tease them apart, and then therefore you're potentially breaking them apart as well too. But yeah, I started them indoors. They're all indoors. They're under a grow light, and cucumbers, tomatoes are doing okay. The coleus, I started those in a takeout food container because we were suggesting that, because during lockdown, whatever it is, it's important to kind of reduce, reuse, recycle. And one of those was, the takeout container. So this was a clear plastic lid, black tray, and it's a great thing for coleus because coleus is a very small seed, so you can just sprinkle them like your salt and pepper. Sprinkle them like your salt and pepper on a larger kind of bit of soil, and then you can transplant them by pricking them out. And we can look at that later on. But yeah, and coleus, those are those plants with the crazy colored leaves and stuff like that. Um, yeah. So that's the grow with me challenge thus far. Surprisingly, as I go back to the chat here, so surprisingly, um, uh, well, where am I going with that? I got a notification that my tomato and cucumber seeds are arriving. So funny thing. So the tomato and cucumber seeds that I'm growing right now are ones that have been given to me because the ones that I ordered never arrived. And I got a notification that they just mailed them out. So if anyone needs some more cucumber and tomato seeds, maybe give me a ring a ding ding. um, are there any sales on sweet peas? No, Christy. No, Christy. You're listening to CFRC 101.9 FM with me, Tiffany Morgan, drag queen extraordinaire, and gardener extraordinaire. There we go. So, yeah, if you want to share your experiences with us with the growing, starting seeds, and we're kind of just focusing on kind of like garden vegetables and stuff like that mostly. But anything else that you're growing from seed, feel free to share. Join our Grow With Me um, Facebook group, and there's quite a few other like-minded people in there too. So thank you. Um, yeah. So even though there's snow on the ground, because at least it's green indoors. Green indoors. There we go. Just taking a little sip there. Yeah. So without sooner or later it'll be warm enough for me to plant those things out. I'm really looking forward to that. And then we'll start some of the other seeds too, like the nasturtiums and then the pole beans. I'm going to plant those directly outside. I think. I think that's the best thing for that. But yeah, anything that you're growing out there? Any questions? Any gardening questions out there? Because I've been getting a lot of gardening questions lately. Except they're not necessarily outdoor gardening questions. I do get those, but I'm getting a lot of like indoor plant questions. Like, do I need to put rocks on the bottom of the pot or something like that? What kind of what kind of conditions does this plant need? Oh, it just dropped a leaf. Is that okay? Sort of thing. It's really interesting. A lot of people are really getting into the houseplant business. I think it's a little bit of a craze. It's a little bit of a craze. Oh, and unfortunately, I don't know much about houseplants. I don't know much about. I know a lot about large tropical plants. I have a whole banana grove growing in my south window here. Bananas galore. Musa baju mostly. And I know about bananas, but I don't know a whole lot about calatheas or monsteras or well, I guess pilea now is becoming oh, that was last year's season plant. It's getting very competitive out there. So I feel like I need to educate myself on these house plants. Yeah. I wish I could answer some of those questions that people are giving me out there, but there, yeah, and there's all these groups. I've been added to a few houseplant groups in Kingston here on Facebook, and yeah, people are looking for these varieties, and it's like, wow, it's really interesting to see people getting really excited about growing, and houseplants are one of the most kind of democratic growing opportunities that you can. Because here I am growing tomatoes and cucumbers. I am also going to grow some nasturtiums. I'm thinking nasturtiums for people with balconies, but vegetables, they tend to be best grown outdoors, and not everyone has outdoor spaces. So houseplants, though, everyone tends to have an indoor space. And a houseplant can always fit in any kind of corner. There's some houseplants that are even better in your in your bathroom because they like the humidity and stuff like that. Um, uh, oh, I got a question here. I'm moving into a new house in June. Will it be too late to start a garden? No. The answer is no, because some vegetables, yes. Some vegetables you need what, like 108 days. You can see on the back of the seed packages how long it needs to be growing in order for it to produce fruit. But there are other seeds out there. There are other vegetables that are very quick, and one of them being lettuces, salads. Salads tend to be quick, although in if it's late June, it could be getting a little bit hot for them because they tend to like a little bit of cooler weather salads. But radishes, carrots, very quick kind of crop sort of things, and yeah, there's yeah. If you move in June, you can still have a garden. You can still produce food. There we go. Um, and someone's asked me about bromeliads. I don't have any bromeliads. I did grow a pineapple because that's one of the things, when you're a grower, you're like, oh, I just had this fresh pineapple. What can I do with the green top on top? Well, I tried growing that and I did grow it. And it did draw some blood because those things are really vicious, spiny little plants. But let's keep going. Let's keep going, shall we? Um, Goodness sakes, yeah, a lot of people are really, really getting into gardening right now. I also want to point out that Earth Day, yes, Thursday, April 22nd. You may be listening to this right now on CFRC 101.9 FM and on CFRC.ca. And today is Earth Day, sweet peas. Earth Day, that's right. So, what do you do on Earth Day? What do you do on Earth Day? Because, snow. Uh, Do you remember before COVID, we would have like the Earth Hour, I think. I think people would do like turn their all electricity devices off and just do candlelight. It's a nice idea. It's a nice idea. But when we're all stuck at home, uh last thing I want is anyone to be like, okay, now I'm just, staring at this candle doing absolutely nothing. So that's maybe if you want to observe that way, go right ahead. Go right ahead. I don't think I can. I don't think I can. But with Earth Day, we can start thinking, tying it into gardening. We can tie it into, doing stuff that's good for Mother Nature. So one of those things is thinking about rain barrels. Rain barrels. So the Utilities Kingston, if you get your services through the Utilities Kingston is now doing their yearly rain barrel sort of program. And now that I say that out loud, where is my link? Where is my link? Okay, there we go. So rain barrels are now available. So uh, if you are a customer of Utilities Kingston, you can order them, you can call them, or you can do it online as well. Calling them Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 sort of thing. And you can order it, and the cost is $56 plus HST, and they will add it to your Utilities Kingston bill. And yeah, and then you can. There's videos on how to install it. It was like I was watching some of the videos. It's just crazy that they're like, oh, you can do it in rain spout diverter, blah 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 blah. Yeah, it's just really good. And then they deliver it to your door too. Which is really handy because that's how I got my rain barrels were through Utilities Kingston, and they are a godsend. They are a godsend. So why rain barrels though? Why should you get a rain barrel? Well, if you are a gardener, hello dear. If you are a gardener, rain barrels help by saving money. You're not using water that has gone through basically a carbon cycle because there's pumping, there's cleaning, there's disinfection. That that whole system is part of our municipal water system. So if you're taking a rain barrel, yeah, you're saving taxpayer dollars. But from my perspective as a gardener, I like it because rainwater is actually better for our plants. It's really, really good for your plants. It is normally pH neutral, we haven't heard of acid rain lately because there hasn't been any acid rain. So normally it's pH neutral. It can have some trace elements to it as well because how it accumulates up in the atmosphere. It can pick up some trace elements. Very little, which is a good thing. And yeah, like it's plants really respond to rainwater. They love rainwater, and it helps also helps with flooding and stuff like that. So think about a rain barrel. Think about a rain barrel. Um, oh, someone's asking me. Oh, what about debris from your eaves and stuff like that? I'm no. I think that's unless you just really got a brand new roof. The any kind of anything being picked up by the rain is no. I think you're good. I think you're good. And if you have eaves like mine, it's full of rotting material already, so that's 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 some fertilizer right there for your plants. But anyway, so also the city of Kingston came out with some other Earth Day sort of activities, um, and you can check that out on the City of Kingston website, I believe. Um, One of them, which I really think is adorable, especially if you have young kids, is to create an Earth Day sign for your windows. So show or tell the outside world why Earth Day matters to you. I think that's adorable. And if you have small kids, maybe even think about expanding that by creating some natural um, food dyes or something like that for your window sign. Like there, I noticed beets are on sale at, or well, they're available. I don't know if they're on sale, but they're available at the local grocery stores and stuff like that. And that'd be a nice little natural red dye, or get some potatoes and make some stamps, and then you can use that for painting and stuff like that. And here, that then that potato goes out into the green bin afterwards. There we go. All natural, all natural. Oh my word, sweet peas. I'm really just going on and on and on about gardening right now. I'm sorry. But you love it. You love it, don't you? You're listening to C4C 101.9 FM here in Kingston, Ontario. Uh, Al's challenging me to clean out my eaves trough wearing high heels and a frock up on a ladder. Well, yeah. Hey, that could be some online projections right there. Oh my word. Oh my word. I will say I'm freely admit I'm a little bit afraid of heights. Tyffanie Morgan, drag queen extraordinaire, is a little bit of afraid of heights, like when you're going up to the second story eaves trough. uh, Head Lawrence, get ready to retire. I have no idea the reference. Anyway. Oh my word, sweet peas. I'm so let's take a look at some upcoming events here. Do I have my events? Oh, I do. I do. Oh, not that one. All right. I upcoming events. What do we have coming up here in Kingston, Ontario? So I'm going to go LGBTQ plus events. I'm going to go to outin.ca. That's outin.ca, your source for queer events going on here in Kingston. So uh, Thursday, April 22nd, there's Queer Prom Radio here on C4C 101.9 at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. And you should tune in to that. What's the maple tea? So that is a lovely little kiki between me and Browena Way, and we talk about RuPaul's Drag Race Season 13 and anything else that kind of pops to mind, unscripted, and that's live Fridays at 7 p.m., so we're going to be doing that. On Saturday at 7 p.m., I'm also going to be doing another live streaming, the Rendezvous, as we call it, and it's 3 generations of drag queens. So it's me, it's Venus DeRogue Morgan, my daughter, and then apparently my granddaughter, Mercury Wild. It's really weird. Drag families The first person who puts you into makeup and kind of is a mentor to you is what we call our mother. And there's three generations, all going to be in one little random talk show sort of thing. So tune in for that, 7 p.m. on Saturday as well. They rendezvous. You can find that information on outin.ca. Gender Talk is next Tuesday as well here on CFRC 101.9 FM. I also just got a notification too. So drag queens apparently are wanting to do audio podcasts like all over the place, all over the place. Um, so Lily Devine of Showgirls Entertainment is doing something Friday at 8 p.m. as well. The Divine Talk with Lily Devine. So I'm sure there's information about that. That was literally just posted. So um, yeah, yeah, Showgirls Entertainment. So these tend to be all on Facebook. So I would, if you don't have a Facebook profile, come on now, get a Facebook profile. Follow along, follow along. Goodness sakes, goodness sakes. Where did my chat go? Oh, there's my chat. Ed Lawrence is a CBC gardener expert. Okay, gotcha. The Garden Doctor on CBC Radio. Oh, see, I only listen to C4C Radio. Aha, there we go. Speaking of which, C4C, there's lots of opportunities going on. So there are summer work study positions available. There's 4 of those. So there's campus news liaison, um, and that's a work remotely job. C4C music collection assistant, that is an on-site job. Marketing and advertising assistant, that's a remote job. And podcast news assistant, that's a working remotely job as well. So if you I believe it's eligible graduate or undergraduate students at Queen's University. So go to cfrc.ca, and those jobs are posted there. So something good to do over the summer months. So speaking of as well, the city of Kingston has published, because it is the end of the school year. It is again the end of the school year. Us Kingstonians are like, oh, it's normally. I don't. This is another summer with COVID. It's weird, but normally this is the end of the school year and the beginning of the tourist year. Right? You're like, oh, look at all the buses coming in from La Belle Provence, coming to do tours here, and various other tour buses coming in, and seeing a lot of tourists. And it's really interesting looking at Kingston through some tourist eyes, because I remember one time I was walking, and there was a garbage can, and it had like a little planter, had a little flower planter in there, and there were some tourists from the U.S. who were taking photos of it because they thought it was just the most adorable thing they had ever seen. And just seeing through their eyes too, it was just like, yeah, we take some pride in our stuff here. Like, it's good. But I guess, no tourist season this year, unless we all get our vaccines. Hopefully that will happen. I'm now eligible for the AstraZeneca. I'm on a waiting list. I'm on a callback list, and hopefully they'll call back. Please call back. But I understand that the province may be taking some measures to try to divert some of the. This is unconfirmed. This is rumor. I maybe shouldn't be sharing this on radio, but trying to divert some of the vaccines to the more hot spots, which makes complete perfect public health sense to me. But I want to get that shot right away, because I'm eager. I hope you're eager too, Sweet Peas. Get the shot. Get the jab. Get the jab. But Sweet Peas, I'm running out of time here. Oh my goodness sakes. I just keep going on and on and on, babbling on and on and on here. But if you enjoyed this program, please check out my my website, my Facebook page there, and all that kind of stuff. Tune in to CFRC 101.9 FM, and I give you my love. Mwah! You stay safe now, sweet peas. Oh my goodness, I was just running. Much love. Thank you, Jazz. I was running out of time there. I forgot to write things down. I was looking at the list. So moving, I did mention that in the Facebook feed there, but the city of Kingston is suggesting students out there to plan their moving appropriately because you still have to stick to the 5-person limit sort of thing, social distancing, and trying to maybe not all move all in one day sort of thing. So that's what I was mentioning about moving in my Facebook feed there. But yeah. Yeah, did anyone have any questions? So that was for the radio program. We're now no longer on the radio program. Bromeliads, yeah. Did you ever try growing a pineapple? Where you have the whole fruit, you twist the top off. Some suggestions is to let that dry a bit, but you definitely have to peel the lower leaves off to expose some of the base, and that will when if you plant that in soil. Sometimes they say let it callus dry out a little bit, but if we plant that in soil and it will grow. It will grow. Whether or not you get a pineapple is another question altogether because pineapples take what in nature in the tropics 2 years or something like that. You can force them to produce fruit, but the likelihood of us producing fruit, pineapple fruit indoors, not so good. But they are a very interesting species. They're a very interesting species of plants because the way they have developed, they can collect and store rainwater because they tend to be what's the word? Epiphytes. Epiphytes. So they tend to be growing on trees mostly. Some species grow on rocks and crevices and stuff like that, not necessarily out in the soil. So they have to find ways to get nutrients and water. And there's even some species of animals that use them. There's some species of frogs who only use bromeliads to lay their eggs in, which is really, really surprising. The plant world. It's just amazing, isn't it? All right, sweet peas. I'm not seeing any other comments, but I'm going to get going because I have to have some lunch. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.